Hello, everyone. I have for you today 7 steps to investing with faith. 7 steps to investing with faith. I'm taking Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verses 1 to 7. Ecclesiastes is a book in the Bible which shares a lot of wisdom, possibly written by King Solomon way back a long time ago. So Ecclesiastes chapter 11, I'm using the first 7 verses to talk about what the Bible has to say about investments. All right, so let's begin. All right, here's the text. If any of you want to write it down, you can take a look and read it through later on. But for right now, I will read the verses one by one. Number 1, cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. So the 7 steps. Number 1, expect the impossible. Okay. When you're investing, when you're trading, okay, primarily with investing, expect what you may think as impossible. You got to get rid of unbelief. You see, some people, they feel like there is no hope to have financial freedom. They feel like investing, savings, it's only for the rich. It's for the filthy rich and the wealthy people, okay? And if I try, even if I try, what could I do? How much money do I have? I don't have anything. I don't have much. It's just not possible. Look at this. Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. Take some bread and put it into the water, in a stream somewhere, or in a river, or in the ocean, wherever. All right? And how long will it take for that bread to disintegrate in the water? How long will it take for the fish to come and eat it up? so you would say, this is impossible. You know, this verse has practically no meaning, because if you cast your bread upon the waters, you will not find it after many days. Why is this even being mentioned like this? Why is this even a part of the text? Well, you've got to learn to expect the impossible. You have to learn to trust God, because God is the one who does things that are impossible. God is the creator. God is the one who makes the things go on. He's the one who makes the world go round. All right? And people think there's a lot of other things that makes the world go round, but actually it is God. So expect the impossible things, like trying to attain some financial freedom, trying to do something with your finances and hoping for some kind of a possibility for gain. Okay, so the future, when you look at the future, it can be really scary. It can be very difficult. So a solid biblical foundation is what you need, okay, for your wealth. I really believe if you do that, you'll get on the road from fear to faith. From fear to faith. 7 steps to investing with faith. Number 1, expect the impossible. Number 2, calculate your risk. Calculate your risk. Let me read verse number 2. Give a portion to 7 or even to 8, for you know not what disaster may happen on earth. Give a portion to 7 or even to 8, for you know not what disaster may happen on earth. You see, in the old days, investments were done by giving your money to people who will trade with it, who will do business with it, okay? And you do this expecting them to make some profit out of it. And of course, they will get a profit and you get a profit, all right? Now, do you take all your money and give it? No, you give it to different people. You know the story in the Bible about the Yeah, about the man who called his servants and gave talents to them. It wasn't like a talent for singing or anything like that. The word talent was the weight, a measurement that was used to weigh gold and silver and costly things. So a certain amount of wealth was given to 3 different people. We know the story. Maybe you know the story. One person was given 5 talents or 5 portions of his wealth, or 5, some kind of weight, whatever it was, 5, he was given 5 talents. Another person was given 2 talents. Another person was given 1 talent. So the master went on a journey and he entrusted his wealth to these 3 servants. When he came back, he called the servants expecting to get a return on his investments. And so the first servant came back and said, Master, you gave me 5 talents. I've earned 5 more. And here it is, 10 talents, it's yours. And he gives it to him. And so the master is happy and he says, look, I will put you in charge of more. You have done well. The man who got 2 talents, he came to his master and said, Master, you gave me 2 talents. I've traded with it, I've invested it, I've made it work, and I've doubled that amount. Now here is 4 talents I'm bringing to you. And the man who was given just 1 talent came and said, Sir, here's your 1 talent. I didn't do anything with it because there was only 1. And I was afraid. I thought, I didn't want to take the risk of losing it. And so therefore I went and I hid it. And so the master was angry with the servant. He said, you could have at least put it with the bankers. You could put it in the bank and at least you get some. I could have gotten my money back with a little bit of interest. Instead, you buried it. You see, the master expected a financial return on his investments, not simply just to keep the money there. He wanted to earn with his money, but keep this in mind. He didn't give all of it to 1 person. He gave it to 3. All right. What is that? It's diversification, calculating your risk. He knew it would be a risk to give all of his wealth to just one of these guys. So he split it up into several. See? And if any of you have not read it, I would recommend that you read it. You can even find it free on YouTube. There is a story, it's a parable called The Richest Man in Babylon. And they also talk about how people would take their money and use it for trade. They would give it to people who would go to far distances and get products to buy and sell. And so they use it to trade. Okay, but they wouldn't give it all to just 1 person or 1 type of investment. They would give it to various types of investments. So here is verse 2. Give a portion to 7 or even to 8, for you do not know what disaster may happen on earth. So if you divide your wealth, your investments into several different ones, what will happen is that they all will make an attempt to make some profit out of it. Okay, some of them will do very good, some of them might do average, and some might even make a loss. All right, but if you spread it out between several different investments, it will be much safer. Even just in the last few months, I've heard of people who have taken all their money and put it into one particular, like a private bank, expecting some kind of a greater return. And yes, they got some nice returns for a few months or for a year or so, but then soon after, that bank went down or went under and they lost all their money. Everything was lost. Nothing was insured. Everything was lost. So therefore, this became like a complete loss in everything. Okay, so this was something that they never expected. This was something that was a sad thing in their lives. So you can imagine the shock that these people would have had where all their money is gone. Okay, so number two, calculate your risk. Get rid of fear by diversifying. Okay, put your money into different types of investments. Invest it wisely. Different methods, like put some into stocks, mutual funds, insurance, or buy land with some, put it in a fixed deposit or bonds, all different types. Okay, but whatever you do, make sure you diversify. So number one, expect the impossible. Get rid of the unbelief. Number two, calculate your risk by diversifying. Get rid of your fear. And then number three, look for opportunities. Look out for good opportunities. Look at verse 3. If the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves on the earth. And if a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it will lie. Many people read this and they wonder, what does this mean? If the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves on the earth. Yeah, obviously so, right? I mean, if the cloud is full of rain and water, it's going to come down. Or look at the second part of it. It can be humorous if you read it and don't understand it. If a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it will lie. Well, unless somebody picks it up, or unless the tree decides to get up and walk away. You see, here's what I want to share with you. Learn observation. Learn to observe things. We observe the weather. We look up at the clouds and say, oh, this is a cloudy day. Could this be a possibility for rain? And next thing you know, the rain comes. Or next thing you know, the sun might come out. Whatever it is, there are certain observations that we make about life here on earth. And then look at the tree. Well, if the tree fell to the south, you don't go looking for it anywhere else. You know it's there. It's not going to get up and walk away. Learn observation. Use logic and observation to find the best investments, either in the markets, in business, and in society. Look and find good investments. Like in the stock markets, look for proper opportunities. Find ways of doing it. Find ways of observing. It's not just a matter of learning this technique or that technique, or learning this kind of a moving average, that kind of moving average. It's not just that. Those are important. Those are good. Okay. But you need to observe. All right, when the moving averages are crossing over, or when you see support and resistance, or when you see these kinds of movements, what's happening? Observe it, understand it. Okay. And even in business, if you're going to invest for the long term, what kind of businesses are you going to invest in? Well, look for businesses that are doing really good. Okay, look for businesses that are doing well and invest in them. All right, and then finally, keep looking for good opportunities. See, you want to get on the road from fear to faith. You've got to get rid of the fear. So expect the impossible, calculate the risk, look for opportunities, and then finally, not finally, but number 4, start now. Number 4, verse 4. Here is verse 4. He who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. See, don't wait for perfect circumstances. Don't wait for everything to come into place. Invest. And invest now. Start investing today. The earlier you do it, the better it is. But remember, it's never too late. If you're older, don't think that, oh, I can't invest because I didn't start investing when I was in my 20s. Don't think like that. Whenever it is, start investing at that point. Now, if you're older, you may not want to invest in riskier things. Stick with the safer stuff if you're older, unless you know what you're doing. unless you know how to protect yourself, unless you know how to be careful in what you do, unless you know your tricks, you know the trade, okay, don't get too risky. If you're older, if you're younger, you have time to be risky, all right? So be safer when you're older, so you can right now begin to invest. Don't wait, start now. Okay, and then number 5, let's look at verse 5. Trust God. Verse 5, look at verse 5. Okay, I hope you have your Bibles open. As you do not know the way the Spirit comes to the bones in the womb of a woman with a child, so you do not know the work of God who makes everything. Ever imagine how a child is formed in the womb? One of the most complex things you can find is the human body, most complex in the whole world, more complex than just anything that people have made. Okay, more complex than a rocket or a spaceship, or more complex than a computer chip, more complex than anything else on earth that we have ever seen is the human body. Okay, how does that happen? By chance? Oh yeah, I know a lot of people say it's by chance. All right, they can believe whatever they want to believe, but it is the work of God who makes everything. See, that's what it says in verse 5. It is a work of God, so you do not know the work of God who makes everything. See, just as you don't really know how a child is formed in the mother's womb, it is the work of God who makes everything. So get rid of doubt. You go ahead and invest and trust in God. Don't trust in your investments. Don't trust in companies and banks and other people. Trust in God. See, God works when nobody is seeing. He works when nobody is looking, nobody is observing, and even when we are asleep, God is at work. He does what no one knows. He makes what no one can make. See, be faithful. Even if others don't honor you, others don't respond, even if the markets don't do well, even if your investments might not do well, be faithful. Trust God. Number 6, and then I really have one more after this. Be persistent. Number 6. Here it is, verse 6. In the morning, sow your seed, and at evening, withhold not your hand, for you do not know which will prosper, this or that, or whether both alike will be good. Be persistent. Continually sow, continually invest. When you're young or when you're old. When your investments have failed or succeeded, keep investing. When others discourage you, keep investing. When tragedy takes everything you have, keep investing. Okay? In the morning, sow your seed. And at evening, withhold not your hand, for you do not know which will prosper, this or that, whether both, or what it is. So some people say, well, I only invest in stocks. I only invest in mutual funds, or I put all my money in this or that. No. Continue, because you don't know which will be profitable. So be persistent. Continue to invest. You see some gain in one area, don't take everything and put it into that area. Okay? If you've allotted 10% of your wealth into a particular area, stick with it. Be reasonable, because there'll be growth in one area for a while and then growth in other areas. All right? And then finally, stay positive. Verse 7. Light is sweet, and it is pleasant for the eyes to see the sun. Light is sweet and is pleasant for the eyes to see the sun. Well, of course. See, when you're financially literate and disciplined, you'll not be in darkness. When you're financially literate, disciplined, and hardworking, you will not be in darkness. So let's review what we're talking about. We're talking about 7 steps to investing with faith. Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 1 to 7. We begin with verse 1, expect the impossible. Get rid of unbelief, expect the impossible. And then number 2, calculate your risk. Calculate your risk. Don't put all your investments into one type of investment, okay? Spread it out into different types. Safer ones, riskier ones, everything, spread it out. Number 3, look for opportunities. Learn to observe the markets, learn to observe business, learn to observe people, learn to observe the societies. Keep looking, look for opportunities. Don't just blindly say, oh, I just trust this person, that person. I don't know anything about. Keep learning, keep observing. Okay? Number 4, start now. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Don't say, I must have this much money, I must have this many rupees or this many dollars. I've got to have this much before I start investing. No. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Start now. Earlier you do it, the earlier you begin, the better it is. But remember, it's never too late. Okay? Then number 5, trust God. Get rid of your doubt. See, we don't know what God is up to. God is the one who creates wealth. He created everything. So when we are faithful, when we work hard, when we do the things that his word tells us, when we obey the word of God and we invest according to what God has taught us, what he has told us, what he tells us to do, what he expects of his children, God will respond. Trust that God will. Yes, I know the markets may not be reliable. Right now, it looks horrible, doesn't it? It's been sideways for some time. And maybe some of you have been losing money steadily, all right? Continue to trust God. And then number 6, be persistent. Continue. Don't give up. When you face a little bit losses, some people just back off and say, this isn't for me. I can't do this. And they back off. No, be persistent. Be persistent. Number 7, stay positive. Stay positive. Light is sweet. It is pleasant for the eyes to see the sun. See, when there's light, you can see what's out there. You don't need to be in darkness. People who are financially illiterate are literally in darkness. They're wandering around, wondering and trying to see, oh my, see, I am poor me, I am so poor. Look at all these rich people out there, they're so wealthy, but me, I am so poor. When you're financially literate and disciplined, you will not be in darkness. Okay, so stay positive. So what are we talking about? We're talking about 7 steps to investing with faith, as the Bible points it out in Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verses 1 to 7. I hope this has been helpful to you. And since this is a trading channel, this is a little bit different. What I'm sharing with you, it's more about investment, but part of it is the trading aspect. Okay, trading is done to earn an income for yourself. It will take a while for you to learn the skills. It'll take a while for you to get experience. It'll take a while for you to build up capital. But if you're persistent, I really believe that within about 3 to 5 years, I believe you can begin to have a good income. You might even be able to replace your income if you work hard at it and build your skills and gain experience and be consistent, be disciplined, and continue to increase your capital. Yes, I believe you can do it. Okay, so trading is for the purpose of earning an income, but then investing is something that would be for longer term. And these are some of the principles that I want to share with you about investing. So I hope this is helpful to you. If this video has benefited you, please make sure to like, share. If you have questions, doubts, please put that in the comments. And if you'd like any other types of videos you might be interested in regarding trading, primarily about trading, go ahead and put that in the comments below, and let me see what we can do with that. I might do something with that, or maybe in one of our Trading Today classes that we do every month, that might be another option. Well, let's see what we can do. All right. I hope all of you enjoyed this, and I hope all of you having a great day, and happy trading to all of you. Bye now.